All right, old school NBA fans, self-researched NBA facts. I got another video here for you. As usual, thanks to anybody watching my videos, subscribes to my channel. Any new subscribers that I recently picked up, welcome. You know, this isn't a channel of wild takes and hot takes and crazy opinions. Everything that's talked about is based on opinion. And I like to think that it's a lot of things that you're not going to hear on the mainstream media. It's a lot of different angles. A lot of things goes into, you know, comparing a player, comparing a team, comparing an era, ranking, any of that kind of thing. It's not a one or two thing. You know, like you'll hear ridiculous Shannon Sharp talk about MVPs and championships. Well, if you don't have at least 4 MVPs and 4 championships, then you can't even be in the go conversation. Says who? That's not true. You know what I mean? That is not gospel. I don't care what anybody says. You know, MVPs are voted on, and championships can be manipulated only because of, you know, the recent era, the last 10, 15 years with the super teams and whatnot. So I don't agree with any of that. But anyway, I got into a little debate with somebody over the weekend, and I decided to look into it. And what team do we think, and there's no right or wrong answer here, this is just an opinion, I'll give mine at the end. What team do we think had the best consecutive seasons of all time? Now, obviously, right away, the thing that almost has to jump out at you is they had to have won back-to-back championships. I don't see how a team that didn't win both years would even qualify for this. And I picked out the 7 teams that I think have the best case. I was going to do like an honorable mention, but I think I'll get them out of the way right now. The 2009 and 2010 Lakers. You know, I know there's a lot of Kobe fans about and everything like that, and that was a great run. You know, there was only one top 75 player on those teams and all that. But the thing that kind of made that team fall short was between the 2 seasons, 09 and 010, they averaged 61 wins, which, you know, that's not bad. The average series in the conference finals and finals was 4 games to 2, which it's okay. The average net rating of the team, of the Lakers, between 09 and 10, they were 3rd in 09, 7th in 2010, they were 5th. And their conference final and final opponents' win average was 54.5. I just found that to be a little bit too low. The other one, the 2012 and 2013 Miami Heat. Now, their average was about the same as the other one, 61.5 wins. Their average net was 3rd. They were 4th in 2012 and 2nd in 2013. The average win of their opponents in the conference finals and finals in both years was 53.5 wins. That's just a little low. And all 4 teams, the 09 Lakers, the 2010 Lakers, 2012 and 2013 Miami, they all went 16-7 in the playoffs. And again, you know, that's good, but it just wasn't upper echelon like I have some of these other teams. But anyway, I just want to get them out of there. To me, they are not in the running in any way, shape, or form. The first team that I have going in chronological order is the 1960 and 1961 Boston Celtics. The 1960 Celtics were 59-16. That's the equivalent of, you know, in an 82-game schedule of 64.5 wins. They're a 787 win percentage. With the playoffs, their record was 67-21, a 779 win percentage. It's pretty high. They beat the Philadelphia Warriors 4 games to 2. They were 49-26. That's the equivalent of about 53.6 wins on an 82-game schedule. They had, you know, Will Chamberlain and Paul Arizin and Tom Gola and Guy Rogers. They had all that kind of thing. They were the 2nd rated defensive team and the 4th net rated team overall. In the finals, they beat St. Louis 4 games to 3, who had the equivalent of 50.3 wins. They were first rated team in offense and second net rated team. They had Bob Pettit and Cliff Hagan and Clyde Lovelet, all that. In 1961, Boston was 57-22, which is equivalent of a 59.2 wins. You know, they had Cousy and Heinsohn and Russell and Sharman and all that. In the Eastern Division Final, they beat Syracuse 4-1. Their record was only 38-41, which is equivalent of 39.4 wins. You know, they had Dolph Schayes and Larry Costello and all that. Hal Greer was also on that team. They were third rated offense and the third net rated team. Now in the finals, they beat St. Louis again 4-1. They had the equivalent of about 53 wins. They were the second rated defense and the second rated net team. So they're playing the best teams that the league has to offer, no doubt about it. With including the playoffs, they were 65-24 in 1961. And in the total 2 year, they were 132-45 for a 745 win percentage. They averaged 61.85 wins in the regular season. And they won their series by about 4 to 1.75. That was the average series of the average win total of every series they played, which was just the conference finals and finals. So what I did to make it fair was I did not include the first 2 rounds in the other more modern teams, because it's just not fair. You know, you're going to beat up on the first round team easily. Second round team might be a little tougher, probably, but still nothing like a conference final. The next team I have is the 1987 and 1988 Lakers. The Lakers were, in 87, they were 65-17, total record of 80-20, including the playoffs. They beat Seattle, who was only 39-43, but they swept them. They beat Boston, who was the defending champions, beat them in 6. They were 59-23. They had 2 players first team All-NBA, 2 players first team All-Defense. Third rated offense, third net rated team. So that's a great year. 1988, the Lakers were 62-20. Overall, they were 77-29. They were the second rated offensive team. Oh, I guess I forgot to say, 87, the Lakers were the first rated offensive team and the first rated net team. They were number 1. In 88, they were the second rated offense team and the second net rated team. They beat, in the conference finals, they beat Dallas 4-3, who was 53-29. And they beat the Detroit Pistons in 7. They were 54-28. Those 2 teams didn't have great win totals. However, Dallas was the fourth net rated team, and Detroit was the third net rated team. Again, you're playing about the best that it has to offer. The total 2 years, the Lakers were 157-49. That includes the playoffs, for a 762 winning percentage. They averaged 63.5 wins in the regular season. Their average playoff series was winning 4-2. And that was, I'm just talking about the conference finals and the finals. So that's those teams. Then I got the 1989 and 1990 Pistons. This is a team that a lot of people like to overlook. The 89 Pistons were 63-19. They were the third rated defense, fourth net rated team in the NBA. Including the playoffs, they were 78-21 for a 788 win percentage, which is very strong. They only lost 2 playoff games. That was to the Bulls. That's it. They played the Bulls in the Eastern Conference Finals. Now the Bulls were the 6th seed. They had upset the 2 and the 3 seed. What's funny is the Bulls in 89, they were the 12th ranked offense, the 11th ranked defense, and the 12th net rated team. Yet they made the conference finals. In the finals, they beat the Lakers. They swept them. Now, I know they had a couple of injuries and all that, but the Lakers were the first number 1 rated offense and number 3 net rated team. 1990, The Pistons were 59 and 23, including the playoffs, 74 and 28. They were the second rated defense, third net rated team. They beat the Bulls, who even in 90 were the fifth rated offense, the 19th rated defense, and the 9th net rated team. Again, the Bulls weren't that great, but yet made the conference finals in each season, 89 and 90. They beat the Bulls in 7 games. You know, Pippen had the migraine game and all that. They beat Portland in the finals, or the Bulls were 55 and 27. Portland was 59 and 23, fourth net rated team. Over the total 2 years, Detroit was 152 and 49 for a 756 winning percentage, including the playoffs. They averaged 61 wins in the regular season. The average conference final and final victory was 4 to 1.5 wins. So that's pretty good. The next 2 year was the 1991 Bulls and the 1992 Bulls. The 91 Bulls were 61 and 21. First rated offense, first rated net team, including the playoffs. They were 76 and 23. They went 15 and 2 in the playoffs, just like the 89 Pistons. The conference finals, they beat the Pistons 4-0. They were only a 50-win team. They had injuries, but they were the defending champion. But even with all that, they were the fourth rated defense and seventh net rated team. They had the defensive player of the year, Dennis Rodman. In the finals, the Bulls beat the Lakers 4-1. They were 58 and 24, fifth in offense, fifth in defense, third net rated team. The 92 Bulls were 67 and 15 for an 817 winning percentage. Including the playoffs, they were 82 and 22 for a 788 winning percentage. They beat the Cavaliers in 6. They were 57 and 25, second rated offense, fifth net rated team. They beat Portland in the finals. They were 57 and 25, talking about Portland. And they were the third rated defense, second net rated team. So that's the best possible team they could have played in the finals. In the total 2 years, the Bulls were 158 and 45 for a 778 win percentage. The average regular season win total was 64 wins. The average in the conference finals and finals was 4 games to 1.25, which is about the best we've seen so far. And the next team we have is the 96 and 97 Bulls. 96 Bulls were 72 and 10, 878 winning percentage. That's the second best of all time. They were the number one offense, number one defense, number one net rated team. Their total record, including the playoffs, was 87 and 13 for 870 win percentage. That's the highest in NBA history. In the Eastern Conference Finals, the Bulls beat Orlando 4-0. The Magic had the third rated offense, fifth rated net team. They were a 60 and 22 team, the 2 seed. In the finals, they beat Seattle 4-2. Seattle was the 1 seed out west. They were 64 and 18, the number 2 rated defense, number 2 rated net team. The 97 Bulls were 69 and 13, 3 games less than the year before. With the playoffs, they were 84 and 17 for an 832 win percentage, 3 less wins. They beat Miami, the 2 seed, was 61 and 21. They were the number 1 rated defense, 5th net rated team. The Utah Jazz in the finals, they beat them 4-2. They were 64 and 18. They were the second rated offense, second rated net team. They had the MVP, Karl Malone. In the total 2 years of the 96 and 97 Bulls, they were 171 and 30 for an 851 win percentage. That's going to be the highest on this list, no doubt about it. The average win total of their 4 opponents of the 2 conference finals and finals was 62.25 wins, which is about the highest on this list, I'm pretty sure. The next team I got is the 2000 and the 2001 Lakers. The 2000 Lakers were 67 and 15, 5th rated offense, 1st rated defense, and 1st net rated team. Including the playoffs, they were 82-23, 781 win percentage. They beat Portland in the conference finals 4-3. Portland was 59-23. Third rated offense, second rated net team. They beat the Pacers in the finals, who were 56-26. First rated offense in the NBA. They beat them, like I said, 4-2. 2001 Lakers were 56-26. Now I hear people talk, I've heard Scap Attack and other people talk about the team had injuries. Derek Fisher missed a bunch of games. Kobe missed some games. Shaq missed games. But they're 56-26 in the regular season. That's got to go into the overall scope of the team. We're not just focused on a 4-series playoff run as though the team is the team's totality. I'm sorry, the regular season is part of it. And if we're going to say that, then you need to say the same thing about the 98 Bulls that Pippen missed half the season. And I did the math, and they were 26-12 without Pippen. So that means that with Pippen, since they were 62-20 team, they were 36-8 with Pippen. So on that pace, they would have been a 68-win team. And only, I think, 7 teams in NBA history have reached that number. So, I'm sorry. Lakers won 56 games. Yes, they beat San Antonio in the Western Conference Finals. They swept them. They were a 58-win team. They were the first rated defense, first net rated team. No doubt about it. That was a great sweep. No question. But were they better than the 96 Orlando? I don't know. Orlando had more wins. Orlando was a way better offensive team. Spurs a better defensive team. I don't know. There's no definitive way to prove that. And the Bulls swept them. In the finals, they beat the 76ers, who were also 56-26. They were the 5th rated defense, 4th net rated team. They had the MVP and the Defensive Player of the Year. The total 2-year, the Lakers were, including the playoffs, were 153-50 for a 754 winning percentage. Their average regular season was 61.5 wins. Their average series was 4-1.5. Their playoff opponents of the conference finals and finals averaged 57.25 wins. Last team is the 2017 and 2018 Golden State Warriors. In 2017, they were 67-15, first rated offense, second rated defense, first rated net, 83-16 for an 838 winning percentage, which, that's really good. They beat San Antonio 61-21. However, the best player, who finished third in MVP and third in Defensive Player of the Year, only played a little more than a half in that series. And Tony Parker was out the whole series. It's important to note that. So they were not playing this team as constructed. In the finals, they beat Cleveland 4-1. They were 51-31, third-rated offense, seventh-rated net team. So they were good, but certainly not great. The 2018 Golden State Warriors were 58-24. Third-rated offense, third net team. Their overall record was 74-29 for a 718 winning percentage. They beat Houston in 7 games, who was the number 1 offense and the number 1 net rated team. But again, their second best player, Chris Paul, missed games 6 and 7 when Houston was up 3-2. It's important to note that. In the finals, they swept Cleveland, who was a mere 50-win team. And they were 5th in offense, a 14th net rated team, so they were middle of the pack, really. They just were lucky to play in the East. So in the total 2 years, they were 157-45, 777 winning percentage. Their average regular season wins was 62.5. Their average series was 4-1. Again, they benefited from some injuries. So when you take everything into consideration, I think the 89 and 90 Pistons were really good. I think that the 2000-2001 Lakers were really good. The 87-88 Lakers were really good. The 91 and 92 Bulls were really good. The Boston team, the record just wasn't quite good enough for me. The 60 and 61 Boston, I just don't think that they would being there. I just figured you got to put them in there because they were on such a run, such a dynasty. But to me, the 96 and 97 Bulls, and I'm not being a homer, they had the best 2-year record, winning percentage of .851. And I think the next best might have been the Warriors at .777. And they benefited, like I said, from a lot of injuries. Actually, that's not true. The 91 and 92 Bulls were .778. Actually, the 91-92 Bulls were better than the 17 and 18 Golden State. But the 96 and 97 Bulls, they dominated. Nobody got to a Game 7. They were the number one offense, number one defense, and number one net rated in 96. They were the number one offense, fourth defense, and number one net rated in 97. They were just too dominant of a team. They went 8-1 in the conference finals and then 8-4 in the finals over that stretch. I just don't think there's any team that's going to stack up to what the Bulls did. Now, did the Bulls have the absolute fiercest conference final and finals competition? Probably not, but it's up there. It's really good. Though all 4 of those teams were really good, but maybe not the absolute best. But when you see how good they did, the result, I don't see how there's anybody else you could put above the 1996-1997 Bulls as the best 2-year consecutive back-to-back team in NBA history. But please, let me know in the comments what you think. Again, the 01 Lakers argument about the reason the regular season wasn't as good because they had injuries, that may be true. But the 98 Bulls had their second best player out for half the year. That if you do the math, they were on pace to win 68 games. And that's a feat that only a handful of teams has ever reached. So anyway, that's about it for this video. Thanks for watching. Until next time.